So hello everyone, and thank you for joining us live. My name is Margareta Kaluger, Program Manager at America House Chisinau. Today we will discuss the Benjamin Franklin Transatlantic Fellowship, or BFTF for short. And we will start with the program overview, and later 3 alumni will join me to share their experience with the program and answer questions. So dear audience, if you would like to communicate with us during the live session, feel free to ask questions in the chat section and we will be happy to answer. So let's begin with an overview of the program, benefits, and eligibility criteria. So the BFTF is a prestigious short-term exchange program, and participants spend 1 month this year between June 24th and July 22nd at Purdue University in Northwest Indiana, USA. And all costs of the participants will be fully covered by the Department of State. So this program consists of a series of lectures, seminars, faculty, and mentor-led workshops. Moreover, participants learn international diplomacy, media and journalism, democracy, and civic education. And besides classroom activities, participants will be involved in community service activities, site visits, social and other cultural activities. And upon their return, participants are asked to implement service projects in their communities. So who is eligible to apply for this program? The candidates should be or must be citizens of the Republic of Moldova. They have to be 18 years old at the time of the program starts, so they have to be born between June 25th, 2006 and June 24, 2007. So this is very important. You have to be born during this frame time. So you also have to be eligible for the US J1 visa, be proficient in English, be committed to enroll in high school or university in Moldova after the program, and demonstrate strong leadership potential and high level of academic achievement. Also, you have to have little or no prior study or travel experience in the USA. So what should you know before applying, or how can you prepare to the best to be ready when you fulfill the application form? So you have to ask at your school for a certificate of academic standing that will show your student status and average grade. Also, you can prepare by writing a 500-word essay about your background, interest, and what makes you competitive to be accepted or to win this fellowship. And you also have to showcase your experience in civic engagement and leadership. Also, you'll be asked to submit a 60-second video about the challenges your community faces and how would you solve this problem as a leader. Also, in the application form, you will be asked to write your passport number, but don't worry if your passport is not issued yet, you can just indicate that. So you'll have plenty of time to have your passport by the time you go to the States. So that's all about the overview program. And now I will invite the 3 alumni, BFTF alumni. Welcome, Nikita Kapsamun. He is an alumnus from 2022. We also have with us Ioan Lekar. He is an BFTF alumnus from 2023. And also joining us is Mihai Sokirka. He is an alumnus from 2013. Hi, everyone. Thank you for making time for us and for accepting our invitation to share your experience with us. Could you please introduce yourselves?
Sure. I am Nick, a quality assurance manager at the moment. Great to meet you. Hope to tell you a little bit more about the program later on. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Johnny, the second year student at Alexandru Ioan Cuza University in Iași. studying economy and international relations.
On my side, my name is Mihai. I've co-founded a company 5-6 years ago. We place software developers on the international market. I'm quite excited to be here.
We are also very excited to find out more about you and your experience with the program. And let's start with a few questions. Can you tell us how did you first hear about the BFTF and what motivated you to apply? And let's start with Nikita.
Sure. I've heard through America House, they just posted a lot about it. And so I decided to apply. That was pretty much the gist of it for me.
So from my side, I heard from a friend. Then also I saw on the Facebook. So I researched the program so that I just was interested in from my background, and the friends just motivated me to apply for this program.
All right. What about you, Mihai? It's been more than 10 years ago. Do
It
you
was
remember?
a different time. It was a different time. I've known alumni from this program back then, and they've been in my network, and I really wanted to attend. Also, a lot of my friends wanted to as well, so we had to compete. I was picked. I was lucky, and amazing program.
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, so the program or the application criteria also changes or evolves over the years, but something that is constant is the interview. So do you remember what your interview experience was like, and maybe what advice would you give to future candidates who are worried about the interview?
Of course. So let me just get started. For me, the interview process was pretty hectic. I had to take all the information I could find in like an hour because they just emailed me. And then I tried to go on the website that Margareta will share with you about all the bullet points. I reversed them into questions, asked myself that in my head, thought, okay, it sounds good. Let me go over it again. When the interview came, Kimberly, one of the Fulbright scholars, was interviewing me as well. And so that helped me out with the application process as well as get over to the second interview.
So for me, the interview was nerve-wracking, but also interesting. They mailed me some days before the interview. So I prepared for my essays because the application process was different. And I don't remember, but maybe they interviewed me for like 10 or 15 minutes. But that time was the most silent and also the long time for me because I just realized how much information just need to put into the interview so they will like know me and how they meet me in this short time. So I just need to present all the things I had and how I'm just better for other contestants and I to be competitive in this time.
On my side, it was a long time ago. It was exciting. I was a bit nervous. I stepped into the room. I saw familiar faces. I was just being myself. And then I realized it was not about me being the best. It was just about me being a match with the project, with the values, and with the expectations. So it was not a competition. It was just about being myself.
Hmm. And is there anything you wish you had known before applying to the program? Maybe about the interview, maybe about some other things related to the program?
Yeah, interview wise, I wish I personally knew what type of interview it would be because I prepared for what they left on the website. And I knew that I couldn't like make things up on the spot. And so for me, when I went there to the States after the interview, I felt a little out of place at first. So I had to sort of know how to filter myself out a little bit and be more socially acceptable by American standards because it's quite different. It's a jump sometimes.
Mhm.
So
What about
it's
you,
the same.
Ivan?
Thank you. It's the same experience as Nikita pointed because perfectly when you just understand the social standards, because it's not about the social standards, but how want you to be show to present you in the society, because American society is different. But to understand perfectly this, you just need to be socially with the people, also get acquainted by these, and to start making good relations as you step in the American territory.
Wow, things have changed. On back in my days, it was just about. I mean, the way I prepared, I Googled. I looked into video content and photos and blog posts from previous participants. I've spoken with previous participants, and they've told me what the program was about. If it it's important and it needs to be a match on all ends. Us as participants need to enjoy this, and the program needs to benefit from having us there. So yeah, researching, speaking with people who've been there, learning about their stories, the journey they've had, the difficulties, the challenges, the adventures. It was exciting. So that was my part.
So these programs allows you to go for a month in the States. Can you tell us what did you appreciate the most during the program? What things did you find the most rewarding during your stay in the US?
Of course, I mean, the stay was over a month, but we went all over the United States. The best bit was probably having a host family for over 10 days or so. We did get to enjoy going to a bunch of events, baseball playoffs or whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think it was the fact that it blended in so seemingly. Like you could go from one place to another, and you wouldn't even notice that you've just went across a state or you've done this and that. So I do think that the projects that I worked on, the people I talked with, and the fact that I could just be myself, just break out of my shell was perfect. I needed that, and I am forever grateful for it, obviously.
Okay, thank you, Nikita.
So for me, it was just that plenty of time. I just went to the activities that the program was just giving you to you. After the lectures, so you have the lectures be in the morning and also from afternoon. But after the lectures, you had a lot of time just going to game with the friends, but maybe to game. So there is also a lot of activities that you want just to go. Maybe you could also go to the gym, maybe play some baseball or basketball with the people that are from the state. But the most interesting activity was going to um, traveling a lot, because the main point of the program is just to be acquainted with the new environments from this like US. So the US is formed from a lot of states, and each state has its different qualities of skills. Or maybe the Americans, they're not just different, but they are socially persons who are just with big heart, um, came into um, presenting their culture and also be happy that you're with them. So as a foreigner from the Moldova, that a small country came to the US, was not just a big party for me, but the most interesting was came to the US and be involved in the society where people are big-hearted and came to you friendly.
So when you mentioned traveling, can you tell us what cities did you visit?
Yeah, of course. So landing in the Indiana, the West Lafayette, then we went to the Chicago, Illinois. After that, we went to the Pennsylvania in I don't remember the state, but
Pennsylvania is the
uh,
state,
uh,
Philadelphia.
yeah, thank you, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the last was the Washington D.C. So I remember only these cities, maybe just a second one. I remember
So
only these cities. Yeah.
Nikita, was it similar for you? You've been in 2022?
Yeah, kind of. We went to Chicago as well, from like West Lafayette and Indiana, then the Pennsylvania road trip over to Washington D.C. But for me, honestly, just like a quick side note, I got lost in Washington D.C. for a whole day, and I made it back on campus. I had to like find my way around it. It was great because it taught me how I can actually just walk up strangers and do the best I can to make my way across the country, a city I don't even know about. But yeah, something I would not recommend doing because it's a little risky. But to each their own,
So
obviously.
it was you who got lost. I see. Interesting. I've heard about you.
You heard about me? Okay, yes, yes. I mean, everybody kind of heard about me when I got back. The first thing I did, I took 3 boxes of pizzas. I looked at Anatoly, who is a moderator, Jeff, and they're like, "Where you been?" I'm like, "Let's talk about this tomorrow. I'm hungry." And I went upstairs. Three of my friends came up to me. He's like, "You're okay?" Yeah, I'm good. They took some pictures and sent them in the group chats. Like, he's okay, if you're wondering. And that was enough. And like, I called my parents. Like, yeah, I got back. It was okay.
On my side, when it comes to traveling, it was the same program, except we flew from New York, and
Oh,
my flight has had a delay, and I took a couple of hours to have a detour and to just to go through the city.
oh, that's good. That's good. Did you get to have some of that pizza from New York, or like go around the Broadway for a bit,
It
or
was
not really?
all. I mean, I've been there. Like, I don't know. I don't even remember what I did, but I wandered a bit through the city. I've been to the Times Square. I've taken a picture of the Empire State Building, and that was it. And I was back because it was a long flight. It was after 2 long flights, and it was my first travel. So yeah. But delays happen. Delays happen in U.S. airports, and it's part of the game.
Of course, if you fly through JFK, you end up having that all the time.
Don't miss the flight on the way back. Don't miss the flight.
Never, because then
The-
you are not gonna end up connecting. They're built short. They're built with short connections, or like 1-2 hours. Because sometimes, for me, I had to have myself and a Romanian
yes,
BFTF participant fly together, so
yes.
we all had the same itinerary. Now they could make it, but if I didn't make it, they wouldn't be flying because they wouldn't allow for it. They wanted us both to fly together so we don't miss it all at all.
And
Like that was the
statistically speaking, the most people miss most flights not because they are late for the airport, but after they've checked in. They've checked in, they have their boarding passes, and then they go, they wander in the airport, and they miss the flight. So be careful. And by the way, boarding time is different than departing time.
very different for sure. Because departure is just like a notice, but you have to be there before even boarding, and go look for your gate every single time. You're like in a country you never been to. Look it up, find the blueprints for the gates, see which flight goes to where. Try to find out a little bit more, and you usually get the itinerary like I think a month in advance, so you can probably do some research on that or ask the the moderators. They probably could tell you a little bit more.
Thank you so much, Nikita, for these valuable tips. But let's go back to our conversation. And I'd like to ask Mihai about his experience. So it's been in 2013. So can you tell us what workshops have you attended? What cities have you visited? If you can tell us more details about your experience.
It was 2013. It was the first year at Purdue University. So it was something new, and the organizers wanted it to be very nice for everybody, and the experience got only better and better from that moment. Um, when it comes to the cities we've traveled to, we've been to Indianapolis, we've been to Chicago, we've been to Washington D.C. Highlights, I would say Bob Dylan concert. We had to, I mean, some of our participants, they've learned about the fact that hey, there will be a concert nearby. So let's go there. So we took the bus. The bus on the way back had a flat tire. It was part of the adventure, part of the game. Nothing serious. All was good. What else? Courses. We've spoken about journalism. We've spoken about statehood. We've spoken about even science. Because yeah, the program is in the name of Ben Franklin. He is one of the founding fathers who has not been a president, but he's on the $100 bill. He has had so many careers in his life, and we've studied his legacy. We've been to Philly. We've been to his home. We've been to the place where the Declaration of Independence was signed. We've been to the Liberty Bell. We've done a lot of things in 1 month.
What would you say was your most rewarding experience?
The network. It was the first travel that I've had abroad, and the network, the possibilities. I've chosen my career. A life decision was taken in Newark Airport when I was with other fellows from BFTF, and we were talking about, okay, so what are you gonna do next? And I had two opportunities in the two university opportunities, and I've chosen the career that I have now. Quite happy.
Mm-hmm. What about the others, Nikita and Ivan? How did this program influence your academic or career path?
Yeah, for me, like I came back from the States. I already was looking to implement the project. It was a little short of the funding, and I still try to work around it, at least spread awareness through America House, which was great. But afterwards, Model of United Nations came around, did a little bit more of like public speak, and eventually landed on journalism and media as my major. At the moment, I'm taking a gap year, but I would say it's great. You just need to know where you can apply it and how you can make use of it, because certain things that you think you've learned in the States through this program might not be exactly for you. It's more of a everything, and you have to take your pick what you would like to do. The same way Mike did it. He had two options. He chose what worked for him. For me was like another thing. So yeah.
What about you, Ivan?
For me, I also chose the career and what I'm gonna do after the program, because I just went from the 12th grade, and after I just passed the baccalaureate exam, I went to the US, and so um, I needed to just go to a university, but I didn't know where. So there in US, I found that I really like the topics and also the lectures, and so I decided to go at the international relations. But also I liked the economy. But before that, I just oriented myself to go on a chemical industry. So before the program, yeah, I was so just oriented and just wanted to be a scientist before the program. So that it's just a little just laughing. Some people are laughing about this because from the after that just arrived from the US, I reoriented myself on the international relations. So I'm just like two different topics, chemistry and economy. They're not just related to each other, but BFTF is a program where you find yourself, find what you really like, and it grows you, challenges you, and also helps you to get what you want from life.
What skills did you develop during your BFTF program that you find them very useful now?
Yeah, for me,
I
honestly.
wanted you one to answer.
Okay,
As
sure
a
thing. Sure thing. Sorry about that.
information.
Okay. So the public speaking and the debating. This is first very helpful for when you talk and debating in a foreign language, as like in English, because it's an international language. Also, the cross-cultural communication when working with people from different backgrounds this improved my teamwork and adaptability from new environments. And also critical thinking or problem solving, because I also learned to analyze the issues from a multiple perspectives. And that's how it also helps me studying and surviving the university backgrounds, to be honest.
What about you, Nikita? I'm sorry for interrupting you earlier.
No worries. You want to take the stage anyways. For me, it was sort of the same, but I think what personally stood out the most was the fact that I could obviously just speak my mind. I could know how to sort of obviously filter out my own thoughts, keep them private, and have those that are more, social out there, and then something for, small circle separated. So this way I had the 3 box category that I still stick to this day, because over time you will come to know certain people from the United States through BFTF that you will pretty much be close with, and those become your friends. So it's a small circle. Then the rest kind of become just a social circle, and so on. So it's a good thing to kind of discern where and what to say.
Thank you. What about you, Mihai?
On my side, I'll start with the basics: packing, preparing for the visa application, navigation, using the underground, writing postcards and sending postcards. By the way, did you guys send postcards to your fellow colleagues?
No, we did letters. We did not letters, but we did those
Good.
messages, and we also did the letters for the host families, but not like actual handwritten letters. We couldn't do it because we
So
weren't on the same. Yeah.
writing handwritten letters and and receiving handwritten postcards from other colleagues from other places, and keeping this tradition for a long period of time, or even writing projects, because we've done projects afterwards and we applied and we got grants, both from the program, both from also from the US Embassy here in Moldova, also from the US Department of State. We've applied for some very competitive grants, and we got them and we won them, and it was so lots of skills.
So yeah, many life skills, I understand. Mihai, do you remember like a moment or a specific situation that really like stands out to you when you think of your BFTF experience?
4th of July, celebrating the independence in the States, the fireworks, the picnic, or singing, or having a few people from the group taking the guitars and going on a bridge and singing on the guitar. It was lovely. It was so many moments. Or the concert, or hey, what else? So many things have happened, but these are some of the highlights.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember the challenges? Maybe something happened and you managed to overcome, or something that still haunts you to this day?
No hard feelings,
No,
nothing.
no
I mean,
hard
of course,
feelings.
there have been challenges. Maybe waking up after an intense program, waking up in the mornings, and then, oh yeah, there was a challenge. There was so much food, and we've been to those cafeterias when we had literally eat as much as you want. That was challenging. I've put on some weight when I came back.
What about you, Nikita? Have you faced any challenges?
If we talk food, that was something that I can never get out of my head. I didn't end up gaining. I at first I thought that I was bloated and puffy. If you take a look at the first few pictures, and then when we move over to Philly, it's as if like I've started walking more. So regardless of whether or not I ate, I would lose weight. Like I just ate so I can burn the whole thing later and get through the day. But maybe probably losing my way around Washington D.C. because I kind of went out of state to get myself some shoes. I still have them, by the way, but that was nice. How to commute, figure out the connections, navigate. Everything was something new to me, but I did make my way back, and it was helpful. It was helpful to know that I know English and I can, get my point across wherever I am in the world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about you, Yuan?
For me, was just the lack of white bread because people from Moldova likes a lot of bread, and maybe the taste of a bread is just different from here. And we wanted something like that it tastes from the village when people just cook the bread. And we managed after this to find, but it was at the end of the program, so we just were surviving without the bread.
All right, but were there any challenges related to the program or maybe program participants? We know there are many participants from European countries. If you had such
So
a
I don't think about
challenge.
the other participants who participated before me, but the European teenagers were facing challenges at the cafeteria because there were a lot of food. Well, it just you had the specific types of food what you would like to eat, but it tasted differently from the Europe. I don't think that other persons faced that, but it tasted differently because uh, of the food. Well, they were giving you also fast food and just other types of delicious sweetie. And the food was just tasting differently. So we had a lot of eating fruits because from the cafeteria you were allowed to bring only the fruits and some candies. But all the European teens were along with me were bringing a lot of bananas in the dormitories. So we were just eating the only bananas after the cafeteria because we were only taking the bananas with some coffee and other type of food. We were not liking this.
All
But
right,
the
so
more of it, yeah, also the banana is a symbol of the group chat of us.
all right, so the challenges were only around the food and not around the workshops
Yeah.
or lectures. But do you have some favorite workshops or lectures that you still remember and you still find them useful and maybe you still go back to them and to the notes you took? Maybe you have a teacher, a professor that you have a friendship with and impacted you. Mihai, I see you very
Yeah,
excited
I
about the
still
question.
remember the science lesson, and it was science. It was intro in science, and the aspect that it impressed me and it changed the way I think and the way I approach learning. It was the aspect that in science there is no truth. In science there is only the what we have based on the current knowledge and based on the current evidence. Our knowledge and our understanding about the presence changes as a civilization. It changes all the time. So there is no truth in science. There is only what is now according to the data that we have.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Nikita?
Yeah, well, if I were to take a trip down memory lane, it was probably the service project workshop that we had with Asta at the time. She did a great job at pretty much taking us through this set of analogies that we don't have to exit the comfort zone, we have to expand on it, we have to work our way through all of these difficulties so we can do better. But in the meantime, of course, I think the science course that Mike is talking about was renamed to the Benjamin Franklin Introduction with Jeff. And he went over everything. We ended up going from one topic to the next and just having a blast talking about everything. It was him going, hey, look, I had to work on my patio. I had to build this. And he made it into like, you see, we couldn't do it then, but now we can because we know this and this and this. So again, data, structure, and evidence. It changes. It's progressive. We will never know what we think we might assume unless it's like there, it's present. So that's pretty much it for me. We did work on like the Constitution, making drafting a few human rights amendments that we thought were important. I didn't quite find much on the official Moldovan website, so I had to draft my own, and it sounded good enough that it passed by. So I was grateful for the fact that they even asked me some big questions, which got me thinking. So it's good.
Okay, thank you for sharing. What about you, Ivan?
So as for me, the most important person there is Bob Lemming. Is a university professor who went to our lectures there on campus and presenting the democratic citizenship module, I think, if I'm not wrong. So the specific topic was on media literacy, policy making, also the point of leadership in a society, what is civic activism, and the importance of negotiation skills. Um, we just made it for workshops for a lot, 3 days, and it was a module. And Bob Lemming, that was the best person on campus because he presented his experience, how he overcome the problem of nowadays students about leadership, how to become a leader from yourself and start from this, and after that going to um, present yourself, your skills, and compete with the others, and manage to orient the people from around you to become a harmonious society. So that is the most important in our society, how to realize who is the leader and what skills do you need to overcome a problem or maybe to solve a problem.
Mhm. Ion, can you tell us if you use this knowledge to implement a community project here in Moldova, in Chisinau, in your community?
My community project is based on my community project where how to so that's how I understand the question, right?
Yes, yeah.
Um so basically you just need to understand what is the community needs from where you are. Next, to implement this, you just need to find the criterias why from where you just the criteria is what the community needs to implement something or solve a problem. To identify the problem is very simple, and also a lot of people say that uh, identification of a problem is a 50% of solving the problem. After this, you need to manage your time, your funds, and all the things that are related to this problem to orient it on one point and to solve this. My project community is based on a room, specifically a common room for a high school, where students, pupils who around there making themselves comfortable there in a specific room where you just go do your homework and where you can socialize. So the main point of the room is put your phone away, and that's how you manage also with the mental health and to be to make a lot of friends if you're just new in a high school, because this is the point where many people are just don't want to overcome this problem, because after going from the second school, going to the high school is a lot of people. There are a lot of challenges you need to face, and this design a calm room will make you feel better in a new environment, and also make easily friends and be more sociable.
Thank you, Yuan. You have given us very specific steps to solving a community issue. And now I want to ask Mihai. So you said you founded a organization, a company, right? So is your company solving a community issue, or maybe you used something you learned during the BFTF experience in your founding the company you have today?
Oh, yeah, directly and indirectly. Oh, don't forget about the fact that Ben Franklin was an entrepreneur, and I'm not sure that I'm not sure if people know how many things, how many patents he had, how many businesses he opened, how many community services organizations he has managed. I've learned, we've touched base on this. It was Newark, it was the airport, and I had to decide, will I go for international affairs, or will I go into business? Will I go into entrepreneurship? Will I go into management? And I went on the second. I'm quite happy about the choice and the choices that I've had afterwards. I do believe that at the end of the day, it's not about one decision that you've made, but it's about how the dots connect in the end. So many choices, so many opportunities that have happened afterwards. I'm one of those lucky people who stayed connected in the network of the BFTF alumni. We've hosted alumni reunions in Moldova, a few of them. We've traveled to Ukraine. We've met in Berlin. I've traveled to the US again as a mentor in 2015. I've met with fellow participants in so many other locations, and it's important. It's about growing the network. It's about doing things that matter. If we are to discuss about my journey afterwards, yes, I've chosen the university, and it was a life decision about the field I'm going to be in. And then so many challenges, so many opportunities, but it's part of the journey. Yeah, I hope I was able to answer the question.
You were. And before we conclude this session, what piece of advice would you give to applicants and future BFTF participants?
I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an amazing opportunity, and I would not be here if it wasn't. If you look into advice, if you really, really want to benefit from this opportunity, it's not just about that stay in the US, but it's also about that journey that happens afterwards. Look into who are the alumni, look into what they've done, look into what are the milestones in their lives, in their careers. Think if this matches with what you want to do in the future. We've got so many bright alumni in our community. It's definitely worth looking on Facebook, on Instagram, on other social networks, on blogs. There are video on YouTube with interviews, with experiences, with recaps about the experience. Speak with alumni, ask questions, and all that effort in order for you to apply, even if you will not get selected, you will increase your skill set about the fact that, hey, you will be better about being interviewed, about how to prepare the application. You'll learn so many things, and in the future they will be needed. So evaluate if you really want it, put in hard effort, be yourself, and make sure that you enjoy that experience.
Thank you so much. Yuan, what advice do you have for potential candidates and participants?
So for the applicants, I would say to show your unique perspective, and the potential of your leadership. Also, to be confident in the interview if you'll get selected, because matters the authenticity and the enthusiasm you have. And so to highlight how you will improve to, or maybe to learn to benefit your community, because this is important. The BFTF is not just a program, a short-term program where you go to a new country as United States, but how you, after this, improve to your community, where you able to make, to solve the problem, and to identify, also to make that you benefit your, also the whole country, because this matters as how your country, what your country challenges, what, because the community could be also the country, the whole country. But to be an important leader in a country, just need to improve yourself. Also, for the future applicants, to step out the comfort zone. This is the most important in our century. To engage, to discuss, to challenge yourself, and to connect as many people as possible. We never know what can we learn from new people. So enjoy the journey. This is important. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Never miss it. So go for it.
Thank you so much, Yuan, Mihai, for these inspiring messages, for this advice. Here we have reached the end of this session. So if you are a high school student, I hope it has motivated you to take this opportunity to apply and win this fellowship. A reminder, the call for applications is open until February 16, 2025 at midnight. And if you have more questions that we didn't cover today, please email education-moldova@state.gov. So, dear audience, thank you for watching this informative session. Thank you for being here with us today, and have a great evening. Goodbye.